the afternoon session. So for this afternoon, there will be a closing roundtable and film screening and discussion. So we will start the sessions with the closing roundtable, Beyond the Game of Cat and Mouse, Lesson Learned and Solutions from the People of the Regions, and followed by the film screening and discussion on Three River Expeditions, the Strait of the Pepper Factory. So without further ado, let me proceed to the first session of today, of this afternoon, Beyond the Game of Cats and Mouse, Lesson Learned on and Solutions from the People of the Region. So may I invite all the panelists and moderator on stage and on the screen, please. So this panel is organized by the Focus on Global South, Alternative Agriculture Network, Social Action for Community and Development in Cambodia. And it is moderated by Khun Pramradi Dawryong from Project Seminar Southeast Asia. Khun Pramradi, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Kanal, for the introduction. And Kanal also give us the name of the co-organizer of this very final session of MAL 2022 in this Student Christian Center. We are going to have a very special closing panel. Actually, we call the title of our panel here, we call it the Beyond the Game of Cat and Mouse, Lesson Learned and Solution from the People of the Region. And I think compared with other MAL in other years, I think this year we were pretty success in terms of keeping mention the cat and mouse game in the sense, right? We keep, I mean, in different panel and activity, keep trying to discuss what we mean by cat and mouse. And this panel, actually, we collect our friends from different groups who have been joining MAL in the past few days and also previously in other activity. And also we invite a couple of the new friends to join the panel. We are going to have the time until 4 o'clock actually, but I would like to divide this panel into two parts, and each part we are going to have 3 speakers, 1 commentator, and we have the break in between, which we would like to invite all of us to do the photo session together here, as this is the last day. The structure of the discussion will be, we have the representative from the Mekong and Southeast Asia to speak, 3 persons, and then we invite the commentator, which today we have 2 persons who help us as a commentator. The first person is Chamali Kutal, the director of Focus on the Global South, and the second person is Larry Lawman, our friend here, who is with the Corner House, UK. The first panel that I would like to start, and I suppose we will spend an hour for this panel, for these 4 people speaking and commenting. Our panelist for the first round is Mr. Paitun Soysot from the Assembly of the Poor. Please, Khun Paitun. I think many of you have heard about Assembly of the Poor. This is the long been movement of the Thai people, right? Many of the people who joining the struggle around the region, knowing Thailand through the so-called Assembly of the Poor. This is a group that have been sitting in front of the Thai Parliament longest in the history, protesting on various issues. The next person I would like to invite here, Sarah, our friend from the Messenger Band. Here, Sarah today going to join us also as the representative of the workers of Cambodia. And she will talk about what's happening with the workers in Cambodia, especially during the COVID-19. And online, I have Ro John, our friend who came from the Philippines, Rojan, came from the youth, the student association that called TYLSA. And I think Rojan will introduce himself a bit more. That this is a youth and student association based in the Philippines. And Rojan is also a representative of the indigenous group in the Philippines. And lastly, as I mentioned before, our commentator for this first panel will be Chaumali Kutel, the director of the Focus on the Global South. All right, so I think I promised that I will have Chia Sarah, our friend here, to speak as a third person. So we might start from Kun Paitun and then Rojan. And let's spend 10 to 15 minutes, no? I think the question here that we have, as I mentioned from before, is you might listen to what we were discussed during this MAU and also with your own issues that we exchanged from before. You think, talking about the position of cat and mouse, you think, is it correct that we are always the mouse in the game of the development? No? I mean, on the thing that we are facing. What is a situation you think you have been facing and the future that you're looking for? Our session is supposed to be a bit of the storytelling. No? And I think many friends here are not familiar with your issues, so probably you'll give us some ideas on what you are now doing or looking at and looking forward to ค่ะเชิญคุณไพฑูรย์ค่ะการแปลโอเคนะคะ
ต้องพูดช้าหน่อยใช่ไหมครับหรือว่าไง
So firstly, I just want to explain what's happening with Assembly of the Poor these days and what are we doing. So which you may have heard about it. In 2019, we had a big mobilization. There are 35 problems or issues. Then the dams is one of the issues, land issue, forest, and then labor issues. Then in negotiating with the government, the negotiation is based on the kind of agreement that the Assembly of the Poor had, and as well as the body set up by the government to resolve the issues. Then COVID situation happened, COVID pandemic happened, so the negotiation was delayed, and we did not progress further during this time. Another thing that we are campaigning on and making demand is for the People's Charter, People's Constitution, because we felt that the latest Constitution was did not come from the people, and it was basically imposed by the coup makers. So we want the Constitution that is based on people's participation, so that we want to make sure that the Constitution responds to our needs. And we think that probably we're going to have to have another rally again. That's the only way where we can actually raise draw the attention of the government. And anything else you want to hear from?
First of all, probably maybe I ask you back a little bit. Can you tell us a little bit about สมัชชาคนจนค่ะ the history, how was it happen, when was it, and how many people are joining สมัชชาคนจนแบบนั้นค่ะ
I have to say that I'm the later generation of the Assembly of Poor members, so I'm not sure about the history, but I can say that we were actually organized, I think, by about 1985, and it was based on a meeting at Chulalongkorn University, and then from 1997 we held rallies, and there were the 120 communities were affected by government development projects. There were workers, dams, affected people living with AIDS, and then farmers group were wanting alternative agriculture. We had a 99-day rally in front of the government house, and there were a number of cases that were resolved, but also a big number that of issues were not resolved. That's why we continue until this day. But the main things that our purpose is basically to empower ourselves, empower the villagers and people. So that's our biggest success, because in the past, no villagers or people, ordinary people, can discuss, can even go to talk to the district officer or to discuss things with government officials. So with our mobilization, and we ended up sitting across the table from the Prime Minister, the ministers. So that was one of the success, and we want to maintain this, our power to negotiate.
Of Assembly of the Poor yourself, when we are talking about the poor, what is the meaning of the poor in the Assembly of the Poor? You know, how and why we are poor? Can you comment on this?
ครับ
Earlier, people thought that the poor Assembly of the Poor is the assembly of people who are with no money, but our meaning of the poor is power poor, rights poor, and opportunities poor. So without these three things, that's why we are poor. It doesn't it's not just about money. So we feel these are our definitions for us, Assembly of the Poor.
You mentioned that the effort of the Assembly of the Poor is to make the poor able to speak or sitting together, right, with those actors like government and others. So you think do the poor having in Thailand, the poor in Thailand, are we having the opportunity to getting better or having a better position in the society? You think, are you hoping for that, or you think it's possible?
เป็นไปได้แน่นอนครับมันเป็นเรื่องที่
There is no way it's going to be impossible, but it may take time, because as long as we feel, the poor feels that they are not being acted upon, or they feel that it's their faith to be poor. If they think like that, it's going to take a long time. But we now know that we are poor not because we drink a lot, not because we have to go into debt, but because we are structurally poor. So the structure is the one that is oppressing us. So we have to look at the structure of the political structure and economic structure to see where what makes us poor, and so we need to go and address that problems and to negotiate, improve our living.
Can you comment on the main actor, right? That we for the first large company. Can you talk about them a little bit? What are the problems in your perspective? They are a mouse, they are the cat, we are the mouse in the development game.
I think it's not wrong to say that this game between on the side of the government and capitalists, they and are the ones that are actually trying to catch us as the. But the problem is these two cats, the government and capital, they always go together. They never, nothing can separate these two cats or to try to get these two cats to fight each other. So in the morning, one speaker said that if the many mice get together, maybe we can actually make the two cats step back and to be ready to talk, to negotiate. But problem is we now have mice, groups of mice that think we are only mice and we can't do anything, and some of them do feel that they can actually try to empower themselves in order to be able to deal with the cats. So there are different.
Later. Rojan, can you hear us? Your sound is not coming out here yet.
Hello, can you hear me clearly?
All right. Now you are here with us. Hello. Thank you so
Hello.
much, Rojan, for joining us from the Philippines, just like last year. Can you please introduce yourself once again? I think I did a very clear introduction, and you have heard the rough question that I have. No, so I will give you this 15 minutes for you to tell us the story that you would like to tell. Please go ahead. Yeah.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. For the Philippines, yeah. Actually, my name is Rojan Enteg. I am 26 now. I am a human rights youth activist belonging to the Tuduray tribe, one of the major tribes or indigenous peoples in the Philippines. So the topic assigned to me is about IP youth empowerment and community solutions to counter hunger and poverty during COVID-19 and other crises. Well, the basis of justice and development for the Taduray and Lambangian indigenous peoples in the Philippines, when there is a full recognition and protection of our rights to self-determination and ancestral domain. Having peace of mind and cannot destroy our sacred places that connected in our culture and identity, and to maintain our good relationship with nature. Indigenous peoples are closely connected with nature. We consider this as extension of life because we can find there everything we need. Our concept for the land is communally owned by the community or the indigenous peoples. It is strictly prohibited to destroy or sell it to anyone. We don't have concept of titling the land or owning everything that can be found in our ancestral domain because we just steward on earth. Only God owns everything. It's already part of our everyday living to always have harmony with fellow creation because we are peace-loving people. We respect the nature as we respect our selves. For the past 3 years, at the height of the national emergency declared to combat the spread of COVID-19 pandemic as early in March 15, 2020 in the Philippines, indigenous communities suffered not because of the pandemic, but because of the series of IP killings, harassment, land grabbing, and continuous operation of mining companies despite the lockdown. The rights of indigenous peoples were violated by both extremist groups and the government because they allowed mining companies to operate during lockdown. Well, IP youth empowerment is still a challenge nowadays. In our context in Mindanao, Philippines, IP youth are always victims of forced labor, illegal recruitment into extremist groups, victims of armed conflict that affect the rights to education, health, cultural, and different aspects that supplementary for their empowerment and advancement. These are the reasons actually why the numbers of out-of-school youth in our country, cases of early marriages or pregnancies are increasing. Aside from this, youth are living with severe trauma. Some are suffering from malnourished and different illnesses in the evacuation site. Our intervention to all of these insurgencies or crises as indigenous communities through the joint force of our indigenous political structure, indigenous people's organization, our funding partners, and through our spirit of voluntarism, we continue to strengthen the practice of Sulagad. It is an indigenous system and practice of sustainable and environment-friendly system of livelihood and utilization of forests, land, and water resources. We also extended humanitarian support to the armed conflict affected IP communities and the lockdown due to COVID-19 pandemic. We also facilitated peace dialogue among the conflict affected uh, IP community to discuss or tackle issues or concerns confronting them and bring these problems to the different government agencies or NGOs to find a concrete solution. We also facilitate basic leadership training for the IP youth to empower them to hear their voice, of course. We give them space to tackle their issues and problems so that they must not left behind in the development in our region. We also conduct information education campaign on environmental and IP rights, like the United Nations Declarations on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, ILO 169, ILO Convention 169, and of course the rights that recognizing, uh, promoting, and protecting the rights of IPs in the Philippines. Also, we continue to do lobbying about IP rights to the different government agencies, especially to in our region, the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, the new established government or the Bangsamoro government in our region to immediately pass the IP code, Indigenous Peoples Codes, because aside from the national law that passed in Congress and Senate and signed by the President, we have also we are living in the region where we are minority. Most of the inhabitants are Moro. So we are indigenous peoples. We are not Moro. We are not Muslim. So that this new autonomy, we also wanted that there must be an IP rights in the regional level. So we continue to lobby that in the Bangsamoro Transition Authority in Parliament. And of course, we continue to fight our rights to ancestral domain because, you know, in the Philippines, mining companies, land grabbing, killing of IPs, all of these are related to land issue. So that is our problem now. So as a youth, we continue to support our fellow youth and other communities to hear their voices and to bring their issues in the proper government agencies for a response. So that's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rojan. Can I ask you further, as a youth, as a young person, you think the message that you're trying to give to the government or the company, as you mentioned, is different? I mean, how the youth movement is different from other movements in the situation you are facing?
Well, the unique, I don't know if I call this uniqueness or something different because uh, with indigenous peoples we have our own organization that is different from other organizations. Because you know, as uh, my experience as a youth rights advocate, IP rights advocate, when we talk about our concerns, no, and when we attend a dialogue and trying to raise our concerns, and the people, no, the people in the government, especially the military and other government agencies, um, they are what is this? They are trying us to connect us in the extremist group like the national and the NPA, the New People's Army. When we speak about our rights, they rate tagging us. No? They connect us in as member of the extremist group, as supporter of the extremist group. But as a IP, as a PUT, we continue to do our obligation, our mandate to raise the voice of our community. So I think that is the different for me.
I see. And can you give us a little bit of your message of hope as a youth representative? You think, you know, what are you looking forward, and what you think, maybe what you are thinking about the future of the, you know, movement in among the indigenous people, leading by the youth?
Sorry.
That the youth movement, even among the indigenous group, it's pretty strong as well. So can you give us a little bit of the message about the hope or the expectation that you have for the future movement?
As if I got the question correctly, is that uh, how I the hope or can
It's
I
okay.
cannot
Yeah.
get the question because it's cracking something.
It's all right, Rojan. We can come back to you later. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so I will move here to Sarah. I don't know how to call you Sarah, right? Not Chia. Yeah, Sarah. Can you go ahead talking about the situation in Cambodia with the workers and with the musicians, no, during the COVID-19? I think this is what we expect to hear from you. Please.
អរគុណអ្នកសម្រាប់សម្រួលអញ្ចឹងជំរាបសួរម្ដងទៀតខ្ញុំស្រាត់ជាសមាជិករបស់ក្រុមតន្ត្រីយុវវ័យនាំសារហើយក្រុមពួកយើងគឺជាក្រុមចម្រៀងស្ត្រីដែលសិតសឹងតែជាអតីតកម្មការិនីរោងចក្រកាត់ដេរហើយយើងមានសមាជិក5នាក់ថ្ងៃនេះផងដែរយើងមាន2នាក់ដែលមកជាមួយគ្នាមានបងសម្ផស្សហើយនិងខ្ញុំសារ៉ាត់ដែលមកពីនេះពួកយើង So what is
The system for the Cambodian language a bit by bit, probably, yeah.
ต้องฟังจากอะไร
Do we need to change the channel or? Okay ค่ะพี่
เดี๋ยวผมช่วยเพื่อ
ก่อน
จะเป็นภาษาไทยเลยกันว่าอะไรกันนะพี่
ค่ะ
เขาบอกที่เขามีคณะเขามีกลุ่มเขามีทั้งหมด5 คนมาที่นี่ด้วยนะพี่
I speak from Zoom, but can you hear me?
No but everyone here cannot hear you
You need to speak into the. I see.
yeah
Because
so
the interpreter doesn't have. Okay, so maybe I can.
yeah
Okay.
okay thank you again all right okay
Maybe I can see.
yeah now you can just sit there and
Oh, okay. Sorry, like my name is Sarah, and we come from Messenger Bank. We are the former of the government worker, and there are 2 of our members are sitting here. Yeah.
អញ្ចឹងពួកយើងកាត់ឡើងតាំងពីឆ្នាំ2005ហើយយើងប្រើប្រាស់សិល្បៈក្នុងការតស៊ូមតិ
And we established since 2005, and we use the art as the part of our advocacy.
ចាយើងចុះសិក្សារៀនសូត្រដោយផ្ទាល់ជាមួយនឹងកសិករស្ត្រីកម្មករយើងធ្វើការជាមួយនឹងក្រុមសកម្មជនសិល្បៈនៅតាមខេត្តផងដែរ
And we are working with the farmer, women, government worker, and also farmer and government worker. Yeah.
យើងប្រមូលរឿងរ៉ាវទាំងអស់នោះយកមកតាក់តែងជាបទចម្រៀងហើយយើងធ្វើការផ្សព្វផ្សាយទៅដល់សាធារណជនក៏ដូចជាអ្នកពាក់ព័ន្ធឲ្យបានដឹង
And we collect the issue by compose as the song and then spreading out to the audience to understand about the issue.
ពី MB យើងក៏ជាផ្នែកមួយនៃសម្ព័ន្ធបងប្អូនស្រីផងដែរ
As the Messenger Bank, we are the part of Sisterhood Alliance.
បន្ថែមពីនេះខ្ញុំនឹងលើកឡើងអំពីបញ្ហានៅអំឡុងពេល COVID របស់សកម្មជនសិល្បៈក៏ដូចជាកម្មករហើយនិងស្ត្រីអ្នកប្រកបរបរផ្លូវភេទ
And now on, I would like to talk about the problem of women, government worker, and sex worker. Yes, during the COVID period.
just one moment can I please check if the people in the Zoom can hear you Rojan, can you hear us? Rojan and Chao, can you hear?
I can hear.
Okay, all right, thank you. Yeah.
ចាអញ្ចឹងខ្ញុំនឹងចែករំលែកអំពីស្ថានភាពរបស់សកម្មជនសិល្បៈនៅតាមខេត្តដែលយើងធ្វើការជាមួយពួកគាត់ប្រឈមទៅនឹងការបាត់បង់ការងារបាត់បង់ប្រាក់ចំណូលបន្ទាប់ពីការរីករាលដាលខ្លាំងនៃជំងឺ COVID
During COVID-19, like a government worker or even a messenger bank, they are like facing of losing their job and cannot get paid. Yeah.
នៅអំឡុងពេលបិទគប់ពួកគាត់អត់អាចទៅរឬក៏ទៅលេងឧបករណ៍ភ្លេងនៅតាមកម្មវិធីដោយសារយើងការជួបជុំអញ្ចឹងគាត់ពិបាកខ្លាំងនៅក្នុងគ្រួសារ
And for the traditional music scene, they also cannot like go to play the music so that they cannot earn money.
បន្ថែមពីនឹងទៀតពួកគាត់ត្រូវចំណាយច្រើនជាងមុនទៅលើស្បៀងអាហារក៏ដូចជាសម្ភារៈថ្នាំពេទ្យសម្រាប់បម្រុងទុកការពារខ្លួន
During at that time, like they had to double pay, especially on like food provision and medicine for treatment. Yeah.
ពួកគាត់ប្រឈមទៅនឹងទទួលរ៉ាប់រងបំណុលចាស់ហើយមានការកើនឡើងបំណុលថ្មីទៀត
And they are facing with like repay back debt and also facing with other new debt. Yeah.
ចឹងខ្ញុំបន្ថែមទៅលើបញ្ហារបស់កម្មករនិងអ្នកប្រកបរបរផ្លូវភេទនិងសេវាកំសាន្ត
Okay, now I would like to talk about the challenge of government worker, sex worker, and entertainment sector.
ចាបន្ទាប់ពីការអនុវត្តច្បាប់ឬក៏គោលនយោបាយដែលបិទផ្អាកហាងការ៉ាអូខេភ្លាមៗធ្វើឲ្យស្ត្រីគាត់បាត់បង់ការងារបាត់បង់ចំណូលអត់មានលទ្ធភាពក្នុងការចំណាយបង់ថ្លៃផ្ទះបន្ទប់ជួលអញ្ចឹងណា
After the like a COVID measurement, so that they are losing their work, they have to like to pay for the renting house. They cannot earn money to survive.
ការងារពួកគាត់លែងទៀងទាត់ដូចមុនទៀតហើយនៅពេលខ្លះក៏មានការងារធ្វើពេលខ្លះក៏អត់មានចំណូលក៏គាត់ក៏អត់ទៀងទាត់ដូចមុនទៀតដែរ
and so that they have no longer regular work. Sometimes they can work and sometimes it lockdown so that they have no work to do.
លើពីនឹងទៅទៀតនោះការកេងប្រវ័ញ្ចឬក៏ការរំលោភបំពានទៅលើសិទ្ធិការងាររបស់ពួកគាត់កាន់តែមានការកើនឡើង
Moreover, the right exploitation has been increases. Yeah.
ការបញ្ចប់កិច្ចសន្យាជាមួយនឹងកង្វះអាហារនិងការទទួលរ៉ាប់រងជួយគ្រួសារដូចមុនពួកគាត់លែងមានលទ្ធភាពទៀតហើយ
how say like a contract termination happening so quickly so that they cannot find enough food to support their family.
ដូចគ្នាជាមួយនឹងសកម្មជនសិល្បៈដែរពួកគាត់ប្រឈមទៅនឹងកង្វះអាហារក៏ដូចជាគាត់ត្រូវចំណាយច្រើនទៅលើការទិញស្បៀងអាហារបម្រុងទុកជាមួយនឹងថ្នាំពេទ្យឬក៏ឧបករណ៍ការពារពីជំងឺ Covid ដែរ
Yeah, the same as the musician, they have facing with like a food provision and also increase getting more money for buying medicine to like support their family.
នៅអំឡុងពេលនឹងដែរយើងមើលឃើញថាការរដ្ឋបិទសិទ្ធិសេរីភាពក្នុងការជួបជុំត្រូវបានរឹតបន្តឹងភាពភ័យខ្លាចគ្នាទៅវិញទៅមកលែងមានសាមគ្គីភាពក៏ដូចជាទំនាក់ទំនងត្រូវបានបាត់បង់ក្តីស្រឡាញ់ដែលធ្លាប់មានឲ្យគ្នាកន្លងមកវាលែងមានដូចមុនអញ្ចឹង
During at that time like a freedom of expression has been expressed and the relation between person to person has been like limited so that we are losing I would say loving from each other.
លើសពីនេះទៅទៀតយើងមើលឃើញថាចលនាប្រជាជនត្រូវបានធ្លាក់ចុះនៅអំឡុងពេលហ្នឹង
During at that time we see like the social movement like has been decreased repeatedly. Yeah.
ចាអញ្ចឹងបន្ថែមពីនេះយើងនឹងលើកឡើងអំពីតួនាទីរបស់ MB ឬក៏ក្រុមសិល្បៈដែលយើងបានធ្វើនៅអំឡុងពេលហ្នឹង
So we would like to raise about our duty or responsibility that we has been doing at that time.
ពី MB យើងភ្លាមយើងតាក់តែងនិពន្ធបទចម្រៀងអំពីស្ថានភាពនៅក្នុងសង្គមមិនថាបញ្ហារបស់កសិករកម្មករស្ត្រីរួមគ្នានៅក្នុងនោះដែលមានបទចម្រៀងមួយបទមានចំណងជើងថាការចងចាំ
So as the messenger bank, we has been composed the song. We collect by we related with women, government worker, farmer, and we put the title as the memory. Yeah.
យើងធ្វើការផ្លាស់ប្ដូររបៀបនៃការធ្វើការពីការចុះផ្ទាល់យើងធ្វើនៅតាមប្រព័ន្ធអនឡាញវិញ
So we change the way we are working before we go to meet people in person, but during at that time we are like contact each other through online. Yeah.
យើងធ្វើការ live ផ្ទាល់ជាមួយនឹងសកម្មជនសិល្បៈនៅក្នុងស្រុកក៏ដូចជាសិល្បៈនៅថ្នាក់តំបន់ផងដែរ
And we also like making live with the music scene within our country and also other regional music scene. Yeah.
យើងធ្វើការផលិតចម្រៀងវីដេអូដែលនិយាយអំពីកសិករនិយាយអំពីបញ្ហាក៏ដូចជាការលើកទឹកចិត្តបញ្ហាដីធ្លីបញ្ហាព្រៃឈើយើងនៅតែបន្តការផ្សព្វផ្សាយនៅក្នុង page របស់ MB ផងដែរ
And we are producing the video which mention about the difficulty and challenge and the inspiration messages related with the land grabbing and also the livelihood of those people as well.
ហើយក៏មានការចូលរួមពីយុវជនដែលធ្វើការជាមួយយើងគាត់តាក់តែងនិពន្ធបទចម្រៀងដែលលើកទឹកចិត្តឬក៏ ដែលគ្រូពេទ្យគាត់លះបង់គាត់ជាទាហានជួមមុខក្នុងការជួយប្រជាជននៅអំឡុងពេលនោះផងដែរ
And the other youth group also participate with us by compose the song we call like the White Doctor. They are sacrifice themselves to fighting with COVID to protect their own people.
ពី MB យើងមើលឃើញថាសិល្បៈនៅតែដើរតួនាទីយ៉ាងសំខាន់ក្នុងការពង្រឹងស្មារតីការគ្រប់គ្រងការគៀងគរការលើកទឹកចិត្តក៏ដូចជាបន្ធូរភាពតានតឹងនៅពេលយើងកំពុងតែនៅក្នុងស្ថានភាពបិទគប់កំពុងតែ stress ខ្លាំងអត់អាចចេញទៅណាបាន
Yeah, as MB role, we see that the song it play very important role to express our feeling, to send a message, and also to heal the people like this present, especially during the COVID-19 lockdown when we cannot go out.
យើងប្រើប្រាស់សិល្បៈក្នុងការភ្ជាប់ទំនាក់ទំនងក៏ដូចជាគៀងគរឲ្យសាធារណជនងាកមកគិតហើយពិចារណាវិភាគអំពីបញ្ហានៅក្នុងសង្គមនាពេលបច្ចុប្បន្ន
We use the art as mobilize people and also to inspire them in our society.
យើងមិនចោះចាញ់យើងនៅតែក្រោកឈរ
we are not withdraw back but we still standing up.
តស៊ូឡើងកុំចោះចាញ់កុំនៅរងចាំស្លាប់អីសាមគ្គីជាតិថ្មីព្រោះអីយើងឈឺចាំក្រុមក្រាន់ហើយកុំឡើយទ្រាំឲ្យគេជីជន់រើបំរាំងយើងនឹងឈ្នះថ្ងៃមួយអរគុណ
Then you would like to translate the song.
Okay, like be struggle, don't just remain silent. And if we keep resisting, maybe one day we will get the victory. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sarah. Yeah. Definitely, I think the main message that Sarah gave us is the importance of the art or the music, right, to the movement. I am sure that inside the song, I mean, the content of the song of the messenger mentioned so many things, right? We have heard them in the very first day with the translation as well. So thank you very much for this round. And before I move to Chamali, let me, I think Rojon cannot hear us very well, but I think among two of you, I would like to hear a bit of your reflection after you have heard from each other, from other countries, not only from Thailand, not only from Cambodia. Something you would like to say? I mean, when you compare, you think something we have in similar? Anything that different in your observation? คุณไพฑูรย์ก่อนไหมคะ
ครับก็อาจจะมีความแตกต่างอยู่บ้างในทางประเด็นหรือในทางเนื้อหานะครับแต่ว่าถ้ามองโดยหลักๆแล้วเนี่ยก็ไม่มีอะไรที่มันแตกต่างกันเพราะว่าไม่ว่าจะเป็นทางฟิลิปปินส์หรือทางกัมพูชาเองก็ล้วนถูกกดขี่จากทุนข้ามชาติหรือทุนในประเทศแล้วก็หน่วยงานของภาครัฐแต่ว่าสิ่งหนึ่งก็คืออาจจะอยู่ภายใต้สถานการณ์ของรัฐบาลที่มันอาจจะไม่เหมือนกันนะอาจจะมีความเป็น
situation is different depending on the degree of dictatorship that we are facing but so it means that maybe there are something more difficult and something easier. For Thailand, even during the COVID, we had an elected government, but we still we knew that we were still under the military dictatorship. And then there were movements by the young people protesting, demanding democracy. They were suppressed by the state. So just like we were when we were under military dictatorship without election.
Can you ask the question again?
Yeah, just to compare, I mean, what did you hear from the friend from other country? Do you think we are facing exactly the same situation or some different? Yeah, please comment.
តាមយើងឮពីប្រទេសផ្សេងៗណាតែយើងគិតថាយើងជួបស្ថានភាពនឹងដូចគ្នាឬក៏ខុសប្លែកពីគ្នាបាទអាចនិយាយតិចបានទេបាទ
ពីខ្ញុំស្ដាប់ប្រហែលថ្ងៃដែលចែកម្លែកអំពីបញ្ហាពីខ្ញុំគិតថាដូចគ្នាព្រោះអីការបង្កើតច្បាប់គោលនយោបាយនៅតែការពារក្រុមហ៊ុនសាជីវកម្មនៅតែការពារអ្នកដឹកនាំអាការកេងប្រវ័ញ្ចការគៀបសង្កត់ការបាត់បង់នៅតែជាប្រជាជនជាអ្នករងគ្រោះ
Based on my understanding in the today, I feel we facing the same situation. Like by creating new law or new policy, it's just serving the the government or the company. But for the poor, they still be suffering from this kind of new law or policy.
Thank you. Okay, so. Now for you, Chao, I hope you have got most of what we were discussing. Please help us, comment and reflect in the issues that you have heard. Please. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Ian. And can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, very clear. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Yeah, firstly, thank you to the speakers before me. I think what they contribute to our discussion is the real voice of people who show how much strength and how much capacity people have, and what the system that we are living in is doing to impoverish and incapacitate people. As our friend Paitun already explained, I mean, what is poverty really? When we say, I mean, with Assembly of the Poor, to claim the terminology, the identity of the poor as a political identity is a really big step forward in terms of going beyond the cat and mouse analogy. And this we heard also from the Philippines and from our friend from Cambodia, that as this system that we are in beats us down, and especially beats people of some particular classes and particular genders and particular ethnicities and particular cultures down, people fight back and they reclaim that very identity as something as an empowerment, as a weapon to move forward. And I think just a few more points that I'd like to raise here, just to go beyond this cat and mouse analogy. Because I think it's important to do that, because the cat will not always be the cat, and that we are seeing from the three speakers before us. I remember many years ago when we launched the Save the Mekong campaign, we said our river feeds millions, and this is true of every river in the Mekong and in every river in Southeast Asia, and this is true of all the diverse ecosystems that these rivers support. And governments in the region, in the whole of ASEAN region, have completely lost the plot. They have completely lost any idea of protecting rivers, environments, and the majority of the people in the region. And they've also pretty much sold the lives of future generations of young people in the regions to capital and to corporations and to staying in political power. And if we actually look at every crisis that has hit the region in the last 20, 30 years, the efforts by the governments of the ASEAN region, either they've been misdirected, or even when they're directed in the right direction to support people, they have not been sufficient. And why have they not been sufficient? They've not been sufficient because of the massive efforts towards privatizing the entire region and national economies, and the erosion of public services and actual protection for people, for workers, for those who produce the food, and for the environment. So the main supports that have come have really been from the people in the region, coming together to support each other, whether it's been the climate, whether it's been natural disasters, climate-induced disasters, COVID, and of course in COVID we saw that tremendously how that happened. And of course in the issue of democratization and people's rights. No? Now three areas that I think need a lot of attention from those of us who want to support the people of the region, and this is, we need to push governments in the ASEAN region to take these issues very seriously. One is the issue of investment. Now, in the case of investment, what we are seeing is that there is a huge collusion between corporations and capital on one side and governments. And here, if we look at the history of ASEAN governments have always maintained that environment and people's rights are subservient to development, and that economic development cannot be, has to come first. And we have seen in the past 3 decades at least that as neoliberalism has become the policy system of choice for governments in the region, development, the definition of development itself is equated to rapid economic growth. So rapid economic growth equals development. Have economic growth and then you will have development. And governments believe that you can only have rapid economic growth through large-scale private investment. So most of the government efforts if you look at the ASEAN cooperation with each other and national economies have been towards achievement of rapid economic growth at the cost of all other social, cultural, human, and environmental indicators. And even in this investment support, the governments are not supporting local private investment. They're not supporting local entrepreneurs, food processors, farmers, fishers, local markets. They're not supporting the people who are selling food on the street. They're supporting large-scale investments that drastically change the entire landscape. They change the entire territories. These investments are what we call extractivist. They extract value from the local areas and they take it away, send it away to generate profits in another area, for large businesses and corporations and for economic and political elites. And this extractivism is extremely dangerous. It is compromising and not compromising, it's undermining the lives of future generations of people who will try to live in the land and in the territories. The second area I think governments have to really pay their attention to, and we as people have to push them to, is the issue of climate change. Now, of course, everybody knows how severe the climate change and how disasters are. And Southeast Asia is among the world's most at-risk regions when it comes to global warming. And this, the UN Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, has also warned that in its most recent reports, that the entire Southeast Asia region is facing rising sea levels, heat waves, droughts, and increasingly very intense rainstorms. And, I think recent studies are showing that 96% of the ASEAN region will be affected by drought, up to 64% affected by extreme drought. And okay, these are the studies, but the experience of people in the region shows what has been going on in the last 15, 20 years. And in the last 5, 6 years, it has been even worse. And during the COVID time, there was COVID as well as climate disasters happening one after the other, And this has to be addressed. And this has to be addressed through drastic systemic change. Real emission cuts are needed. Net zero offsets, the Paris climate targets, those are useless. They basically allow business to go on as usual. They allow this whole extractivism to continue and the destruction of landscapes to continue, So the way forward here is protection of natural ecosystems, especially those of majority of the people in the region, and what the ecosystem that people live by, which is rivers, wetlands, hills, forests, and this is where the proposals and the ways the support, proposed by the communities in the region, indigenous people, assembly of the poor, people working in the land, local peasants and fishers. This is the way forward. These are the people who will continue to sustain the environment, sustain ecosystems, and produce majority of the food in the region. And the last point here that I want to bring up, which I think really needs a lot of attention, based not only on what we heard today, but also in the last few days, is the issue of the erosion of participatory democracy and the rise of extreme authoritarianism in the whole ASEAN region. There is not one country in the ASEAN region where we have participatory democracy. In every country, people's rights and lives are threatened on a daily basis by militarization and some form or the other of state violence. Yesterday, we heard about Burma, what's happening in Burma, which is, of course, the most stark example of militarism and extreme violence. And we all know about the coup, we've been reading about it. But there is not one country in the region where people are not facing some form of extreme state repression when they make a claim on their rights to land, forests, rivers, jobs, labor rights, like we hear from Cambodia. You know, in every case where people actually make a claim, just as rights, people as ordinary people are there for their rights, as citizens, and even if not as citizens, as people of the land, they face extreme state repression. Indigenous people, we know, and people who are of ethnic minority cultures face the worst. And these are the people who live in territories that are most desired by corporations and governments. So there is a very, how we say, insidious relationship between the violation of human rights, the oppression of people, and then the accumulation of capital by the wealthy people of the region and the world and corporations. Any voice of dissent, of course, as we heard today, is tagged as anti-national, as seditious, creating instability, and so on, you know, and insecurity in the region. And this is the case in all of the ASEAN region. So I think, you know, as an honorary resident of the region, my appeal to the governments of the region is it's the people and communities and local communities and people. It's these people who create value. It's not corporations. It's not large businesses, because value must stay with the land, with the territories. It's local food systems. It's territorially embedded food systems that will feed the people of the entire region. Not global value chains, not corporate food systems. Yeah, so why don't I just stop here? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chao. Yeah, we are giving a big hand to you, and by chance, what Chao just said, it, you know, bring us back to our original Mao statement. You know, we have the statement back to the first year we have Mao in 2019. We call the ASEAN we want. And yeah, actually we have that sign with us today. Probably we will use that with our group photo later. If I want to be exactly on time for 1 hour for this session, I have 5 minutes for your question or discussion. If you have anything for our speaker here to exchange or some question, please go ahead. Probably we can have a couple of the burning opinion or the question. We want to hear another song. You want to hear another song? And next question. Yeah. Yeah, she wants to hear the Assembly of the Poor song. Yeah. If he starts to sing, will you sing along? Anything apart from the song? I think Sarah will sing for us. I think she will. No? All right then. Another song? Please. อ๋อจะบัญชาคนจนจะเอาไหมคะชื่อสองสั้นๆอาชีพ
ជីវិតរស់នៅរាល់ថ្ងៃជួមតុងភ័យគ្មានពេលណាលហើយក្នុងខ្យល់ភ្លៀងគ្មានកោតក្រោយប្រឹងដងហើយទាំងក្រៀមក្រំខ្លោចផ្សាភ្ញាក់ឡើងណាមិត្តអើយកុំតតើយកុំបានដោយទៅទៀតសូមកុំរុញរាយើងនេះហើយត្រូវចេះសាមគ្គីទាមទារសន្ធិយើងដល់ពេលហើយកុំកន្តើយធ្វើជាមនុស្សគ្មានវិញ្ញាណភ្ញាក់ខ្លួនឡើងកុំស្ងៀមទៀតត្រូវក្មេងគ្នារួមកម្លាំងតតាំងនឹងមនុស្សចិនសាមញ្ញគ្រប់គ្រាន់ហើយកុំឡើយបងអង្គឈុំធ្វើខ្លងហើយត្រូវក្រោកឈរឡើងបងជុំហ៊ានដើរទៅមុខកុំនៅមើលបំណាំចូលមករួបរวมគ្នាភ្ញាក់ឡើងណាមិត្តអើយកុំតតើយកុំបានដោយទៅទៀតសូមកុំរុញរាយើងនេះហើយត្រូវចេះសាមគ្គីគ្នាទាមទារសន្ធិយើងតស៊ូឡើងកុំចោទចាញ់កុំនៅរងចាំស្លាប់អីសាមគ្គីជាតិអីព្រោះអីយើងជឿចាំក្រុមគ្រាន់ហើយកុំឡើយទ្រាំឲ្យគេជីជន់រើបំរាំងយើងនឹងឈ្នះថ្ងៃមួយចាអរគុណ
So much is a beautiful song. I think I can translate this song.
Maybe a short,
Please,
briefly, yes. The song is about wake up. So everyone, please wake up. Don't be silent and don't be afraid of. So we need to unite it and fight against the bad people. So please. And be
Thank you very much, Hamali, for giving us a very great comments and also summarize. I am going to let you have a break. I mean, the rain has stopped. We put ourselves in here for too long. So maybe 15 minutes or something break before we come back for the short photo session. Yeah. Thank you very much. Any announcement from our MC? Nothing? Yeah. Okay. See you back here soon. Enjoy your break.